You know, lately with everybody not being able to really go out and do much, I've been able to spend a little bit more time kind of gauging and learning about, different technologies and consoles and stuff like that. And being that I do, YouTube and gaming YouTube as a hobby, I just felt, a little bit important to learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about. And so I felt like that was something that I owed sort of the people that, view my channel and things like that. Listen, nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to get things right 100% of the time. But I can at least do my best to kind of learn the technology and the things involved and try to convey that as best as I can, because I realize not everybody has the time to really go out and learn all this stuff. And so if you can really kind of just boil it down to a simpler form for people, it's easier to understand, and I absolutely like that. So this should be a very interesting video because we got some great information about the PlayStation 5 in particular here, and I feel like you guys are going to like this video. Hey, what's up everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews. Special shout out to all the new subscribers and everybody else. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. All it takes to support me is a simple like, share it out. And if you really want to support me, become a member if you want. Otherwise, you can always simply just hit the bell so you're notified of my content as soon as it drops. I'm one of the rare people that does daily content. So I'm not saying I invented that, but I did do, a lot of daily content for a long time, and it's something that I kind of strive to do with the consistent basis. And hopefully you've seen some of the changes going on around here with the way I do my videos. Unscripted, that's when I'm at my best, just talking off the cuff. I don't know anybody who does it better. That's not a knock on anybody. I'm just saying, hey, tooting my own horn. Toot toot, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for joining me. So anyway, we know that there's some incredible technology inside of the PlayStation 5. That solid-state drive in particular is something that even PCs don't have access to yet. It's something that Sony's technology and specifically has kind of brought to the forefront, and everybody's talking about it. Obviously, a solid-state drive in and of itself is nothing new, but just Sony's technology for theirs is something that hasn't been implemented before elsewhere. So there's some catching up to do there on the PC side even, which is something that doesn't usually normally happen. I don't think it's happened where PC had to catch up to consoles till the 360 and stuff and PS3. I feel like that was when consoles had to kind of a jump on PC. Since then, I know this past generation, both the PS4 and the Xbox One launched below what PCs were doing already at the time. So it's very interesting to see that the companies see that mistake, and they see that console gamers, particularly the hardcore, really want to take advantage of that hardcore gaming prowess, that power, the frame rates, all that kind of good stuff. So we are becoming more and more in tune with what to expect and what we want, and I like that. And a well-informed consumer is going to be a happy consumer, I think. And just seeing what both Microsoft and Sony are showcasing off so far, it looks very incredible. Digital Foundry was doing some breakdowns of the PlayStation 5 in terms of specifications and things like that, confirming a lot of things, including some things that maybe we didn't know. And they were talking a little bit about the price and what to expect and things like that. I just feel like, it's one of those things where we all kind of talk about it. I feel like Microsoft and Sony are in this chess match where they don't want the other one to have any kind of advantage, but at the same time, they're afraid to go first and then be undercut. I think that price point is really the biggest thing that we have to kind of gauge what's going to happen and what's going on between the Xbox Series X. Is there a Lockhart? Is there not a Lockhart? We know there's a digital-only version of the PS5 and a regular version. Is Microsoft offering the same thing? Is that all Lockhart is, or is Lockhart a less powerful system in general? There's a lot of questions. A lot of people ask me. I've only ever come across one piece of paper that mentions Lockhart. Now, there are other rumors about Lockhart and stuff like that starting to come up, that there's some some code with it in there and multiple things now for developers. I haven't seen that. I've asked around. Like I said, I've seen one piece of paper that mentioned Lockhart, and that was it. Nothing more. But signs do kind of indicate that it is a thing. When are they going to announce it? I don't know. Look, if they are going to announce it, it seems like they're going to have to announce it at their July event. I can't imagine them announcing it much after that. At this July event, are we going to get a price for Lockhart? Are we going to get a price for the Series X? I think that you can't really introduce the Lockhart until you introduce the price for the Series X and give a good explanation as to why something like the Lockhart even exists in terms of price, because you can't go, and here's our Lockhart, it's going to be this, and cheaper, but cheaper by how much? People are going to have a lot of questions, so you have to really kind of get into it and start to go, well, why do I need this, and what's the advantages to this over this? And and I do feel, not to get off track a little bit, it is going to be a little bit strange, because for the last 3.5 years, Microsoft has talked up true 4K and 4K gaming, and now with the Series X, supposedly it can support up to 8K, and then Lockhart supposedly is like a 1080p machine. So I don't know, how do you go back to that? How do you explain that to the average consumer? That's going to be an interesting thing to kind of find out. But at the end of the day, that's Microsoft's problem, not mine. I'm sure they'll be able to do it just fine. I mean, people right now are buying, the S or, whatever, and I feel like that's, pretty much exactly what's going to happen with the next generation. If Lockhart is real, I would expect that the majority of people are going to buy that console, and then the lesser people are going to buy, the more expensive, more powerful console, and that's just the way it's going to be. Traditionally, that's how it is. Again, more and more people are into this whole digital-only aspect, and I feel like that's something that really comes with sort of a caveat, man. Like, I use digital-only mostly now, but at the same time, I hate to see physical go completely away, because I feel like you do lose a lot of rights when you don't buy physical. So I still have a physical collection of PS4 and Xbox One, but mostly I just use digital just because it's a little bit simpler for me to kind of, get the hold of, and you don't have to get up and get a new disc and put it in and, keep track of everything. You just go to something, boom, 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 and you're ready to go. So I do understand how that's much simpler. So Digital Foundry is confirming once again, the PlayStation 5, a very, very beastly console. Even Phil Spencer chimed in and said he liked what he saw from Sony's event and things like that. Sony did exactly what Sony does best. They get people hyped up, and they've done a good job. Hopefully Microsoft can borrow some of that juju and and get people excited for the Xbox Series X and Lockhart and their games and things like that. We are starting to get more and more information. Now it just comes down to them actually showing them off, and when are we going to get these games, because I think that's what everybody is mostly wanting to know. So according to Digital Foundry's Richard Ledbetter, Sony actually, their decision to release two PS5 models could actually be there only to potentially soften the blow of an expensive console launch. During the PS5 reveal earlier in the month, Sony revealed the console's hardware design alongside an announcement there will be two versions available upon launch, a traditional model with a 4K Blu-ray drive and a digital-only model. In their latest video, Mr. Ledbetter talks about the different models and whether the digital edition will be a less expensive option. He points out that while the discless model could be a cheaper option, Sony could also opt to equip this model with more storage, resulting in a higher price than the traditional PS5 model. He says, although the price tag of the PS5 has yet to be revealed, Digital Foundry appears to be looking at prices between $450 and $499 for the digital and $499 to $549 for the PS5 model with the Blu-ray. So this is what he has to say, and I quote, "The point is that the concept of offering two SKUs could potentially soften the blow of an expensive console launch. May well be that we'll see split price like $450 to $499 between the two SKUs, could even go higher than that. And if we're looking at a $499 $549 split, at some for the PS5 will be available at a price point we've seen in the past. Xbox One X was 2017's $500 console after all. Any higher, and the specter of the PlayStation 3 could overshadow proceedings," meaning that Sony got a lot of crap for that $599 launch of the PS3. Sony's well aware of this. Microsoft's well aware of this. You can't price a console at $599. You just can't do it. So you got to cut it in half. You got to be honest with you, I feel like Sony needs to go $399 for the digital, $499 for the regular. I know they're going to be eating some cost on that, but you're going to get a high install base, and you're going to be able to get a lot of people to buy content. You're going to get a lot of people to buy your services and subscriptions, and that's basically what you have to do. Now, Ledbetter, and I do disagree with him a little bit here, he says going into the PS5 reveal, there was this lingering hope that Sony could have delivered the machine at $399 price that served the PS4 and PS4 Pro so well. I think that revealing that figure at the end of last week's show directly after showcasing the console in the Incredible Horizon Forbidden West just would have sent the hype level to the stratosphere and possibly beyond. But unless there's some kind of four-dimensional chess mind games going on here, all indications are that the new machine will be significantly more expensive. See, I kind of disagree. I think they're holding off because they don't want to announce, in particular, that the PlayStation 5 is going to be, at this, a price point of $399, because that gives Microsoft some wiggle room over the next, few weeks to kind of maybe work something out to beat them in price. And I still think that Microsoft and Sony are still doing that chess match, so I do think that there is sort of a chess match going on between Microsoft and Sony, and it's going to benefit us as gamers for sure. I just think that it's something that we're going to have to wait and see how it kind of works out. Is it going to be something that we definitely see in the future as of value? Because again, it's going to be a hard property to actually go out there and go, well, you're going to have to, especially for those of us that usually get both. Like, I didn't get both at the beginning of this generation, but I would love to be able to get both at the beginning of the next generation. The problem is, how do you talk people if you're married or whatever, have a family? Like, I don't know how, I guess maybe I'm not well off or whatever, but just for the 2 consoles alone, if they're $500 plus tax, you're looking at $1,100. So that's really an expensive outlook. That's not even counting games. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Microsoft has Game Pass. That's fine, but a lot of the third-party stuff is more or less what I'd be interested in on the Xbox, and you have to buy that. That's not going to go in Game Pass Day 1. Whereas Sony, obviously, the Spider-Mans, the Ratchet and Clanks, the exclusives and stuff like that would be what I'm more interested in. But let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate it. What do you guys think the final price is going to be, and what do you think the price of the Series X is going to be? Who's going to come out on top here? Rack 'em up. Game on. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.